Hello everybody to the today's webinar, Incorporate Your Company in Switzerland, presented from STARTUPS.CH. Very welcome to today's presentation. STARTUPS.CH, we are the #1 company for company incorporations in Switzerland. We have the experience of over 20,000 incorporations over the last decade. Please feel free to ask any questions during the presentation. You can download the presentation with on the cloud button on the top right at any time. First, short introduction about me. I'm a startup enthusiast and a consultant at STARTUPS.CH. I did my bachelor's degree in 2010 in business administration. In 2012, the master's degree in business administration with a major in entrepreneurship. Until 2017, I worked in different fiduciary and consultant companies. Today, I'm the co-owner and co-director of my own company. I hope that everybody can hear and see me well. Just let me know if that's not the case. Currently, I'm an account manager at STARTUPS.CH, and as I mentioned just right before, I'm a co-owner and co-director of my own company. It's called smartbeer.ch. So if anybody of you likes craft beer, just take a look and make your order. I'm married and I have 3 children. To my hobbies belong to spend family with my family. Spend time with my family, my own startup, traveling and playing golf and tennis. If you want to directly get in touch with me, you see here on the left my contact information. You can easily send me an email at leon.metz@startups.ch. I will answer it always as soon as possible. So, the today's program looks like this. First, we want to have a look how you can validate your business idea, write a business plan, find the right legal form, understand the incorporation process. As you will see afterwards, the incorporation process with STARTUPS.CH is very easy. Set up your bookkeeping, choose the right insurance, plan your marketing, and last but not least, use the best tools. So, and as I mentioned, just feel free to write your questions if there are any questions. I would be happy if you can write down what are your business ideas, so I can have a little bit of reference to that. If you don't want to, no problem. So, business idea and business plan. First of all, make a little research if you have competition on the market or not. If yes, what is your USP? Why should you be successful? What is your unique selling proposition? Why should the potential clients get to your company and not to the others? Think about what differentiates yourself. If there's no competition, great. You are the first on the market. No blue ocean. It's really a good thing. But also here, what's the benchmark on the market? What do customers expect from you? Do they want you to offer just a service, or do they want to have it in 5 languages? Do they want you to be available 7/24? Try to get a benchmark out of there. Next, answer the following questions about your customers. How and to whom do you bring an added value? Who are your potential customers and how do you bring it? Is it service? Is it online? Do you have to go to them? Is it in a store? How do you do it? How big is your target group? Is it just kids? Is it adults starting at 20 years old? or is it senior people starting at 60? Is it male? Is it female? Try to get a point on that. How much will your potential customers pay for your service and for your product? I mean, if you sell your product at 50 francs per item, and people would not pay more than 20 Swiss francs, obviously your sale will be very low. On the other hand, if you want to sell your product, if you sell your product already at 20 Swiss francs, but customers would actually pay up to 50, then you would probably lose some money because you could sell it at a higher price. Try here to get feedback from your family members, from your best friends. Try to explain them what's your service gonna be, what's your product gonna be, and try to get a feedback. And I'm 100% sure that your family members, your best friends, they will give you honest feedback, and they will not just say, oh, Adam, he asked me how much I would pay, and I don't want to be too honest with him because maybe he will be sad or whatever. So I'm 100% sure that your family members and your friends will give you an honest feedback. Adam, thank you, welcome you here also. You can download the slides with the cloud on the top right, using the cloud on the top right. So then make a simple back of the envelope calculation. Try to figure out what costs you will have to face, and with how much turnover you can calculate. And here we tend a little bit that we say costs. Oh no, we don't have any costs. I'm here, no problem, no costs. Revenues, yeah, it's me, Mr. Metz. I will certainly generate at least 100,000 Swiss francs in the first year. Probably it's the other way around. Costs will be rather high, especially in the beginning. Turnover will be rather low. There's an easy calculation also. You can calculate the costs times 2 and divide the revenues by 2. So times 2 divided by 2, you will get more or less where you will get to. Investments and capital. Try to figure out what investments you have to do. If you have large investments, obviously you need more money. Also have a look how much capital you would have available. If there's a lot of capital available which you don't need, you can go and have a huge capital company, for example, a corporation. If you say, okay, I don't have so much money, you'd rather go with a sole proprietorship company. But we'll have a look at it in detail afterwards. Cash flows and break even. Try to figure out if there are seasonal peaks. If you have, for example, a summer product where you have a lot of sales in spring and in the summertime, maybe less in fall and in winter, try to figure that out. Break-even point, how much would you need to sell? For example, Maxim, you want to run an IT company, try to figure out how much turnover you have to generate until you get in the profit area. Good. So here, if you want to create your own business plan, we have here a great template. It follows the takeoff principle. First of all, you have to reflect yourself to whom do you want to send your business plan. Is it just for yourself? So reflect your own idea, get an idea of how you want to do it. On the other way, do you want to get investors on the boat? Or banks, you want to get a bank loan? For a bank loan, for investors, you need to go much more in detail with your business plan. And here you can see the management summary. So if you want to get investors investing in your company, try to get a great management summary. Because if you imagine investors, they get a huge bunch of business plans. And now they have to decide whether I want to read the following 30 pages or not. and they decided with the based on the management summary. If you have a catchy and great informative management summary, they will continue reading. On the other hand, if it's boring, if it's not so interesting, not so good points in management summary, they will throw it away. And here, your goal has to be that the investors, the banks, they will read through the whole business plan and not only through the first page. Here you can see the different chapters. So company, write a little bit about the company, about the idea you have. Market, what are the needs of your potential customers? How big is the market? What is the target customers? Is it kids? Is it women? Is it maybe families? Is it single people? Competitors, we have direct and indirect competitors, direct competitors who offer exactly the same, indirect competitors who offer more or less the same like you. Entrance, we have the 4 P's, price, products, place, promotion. Price, try to figure out, as I mentioned before, where you want to set the price. It's easier to go down with the price than to go on a higher price. So first start maybe with a higher price, go down if there's not so much demand, not so much sales. It's rather difficult to go up with price, because somebody who paid 20 Swiss francs before, suddenly he has to pay 30 Swiss francs for the same product. Difficult to understand for some people. Product, think about what's your product, what's your service, what do you want to offer. But that's the core product. So you also have to think about what's the extended product. What is additionally with the product? Do they have a great consultation? Do they have great sales? Do they have after sales where somebody asks if you are happy with your product, you want to have additional product offerings, and so on and so on. Place, if it's an online shop, obviously you need to have a great website. Great website. Why? Because people will purchase your product over your internet page. User-friendly is also very important. On the other hand, if you want to open a store, you need to have people dropping in. It's not worth to have a store somewhere in the backyard. You need to have a store somewhere where there's a lot of traffic around. Promotion. How do you want to get in touch with your clients? What promotion strategy do you have? You want to send emails, regular emails? Do you want to send? How do you want to proceed with them? Organization. Thinking about how you want to organize yourself. I don't want to go too much into details here. Think about the future. I want to start here with the last point, which you see here with milestones. So try to reflect yourself. Where do you want to set milestones? How much turnover do you want to generate? How much turnover do you want to achieve in the first year? How much maybe in the second year? Customer base. How many customers do you want to have in the first year, in the second year, in the third year? Maybe in the first year you want to have, maximum in the first year you want to have 20 clients. After the second year you want to have 50 clients. Maybe in the first year you want to start alone. Second year you want to have your first 2 employees, and so on and so on. Try to set milestones. And here we have the SWOT analysis. So here we have opportunities and risks, which reflect a market point of view. So what opportunities and risks do we have on the market? Opportunities could be, now with the coronavirus, I'm sorry to mention that, but could also be an opportunity. Opportunity, why? Because people, the more they purchase over the internet. Online shopping is great, so it's a great opportunity to have an online store now. On the other hand, it's also a risk. If you want to open a travel agency where nobody travels because all the fleets are down, yeah, it's a great risk. You don't want to start your travel agency right now during the corona crisis. Strengths and weaknesses is from an internal point of view. So in your company, what strengths do you have? Do you have somebody who speaks 5 languages? Do you have an IT crack in the company? Somebody who's really IT aware? And weaknesses on the other hand, if I also use the IT, don't you have an IT guy in your company? So you need to hire somebody. Finances, projected income statement, capital requirements, financing, liquidity, balance sheet, and so on. Yeah, that's always a little bit, makes a little bit, sets up some problems for some upcoming entrepreneurs. We have a financial planning tool here with a business planner. You can see it here on the right of this page. Business planner, it's a tool created from STARTUPS.CH. It's a business plan tool, and there's also a financial plan template which is included. So yeah, that might help you a lot. Try to use this one. It's really a great tool. Okay, then we want to go and have a look about the company incorporation. Here in Switzerland, we differentiate first of all between personal company and capital company. Personal company, we have the sole proprietorship company first of all. There's a second one, it's called Kollektivgesellschaft. It's actually more or less the same. It's only with 2 people. And here we can see sole proprietorship company, which is not listed here, up to a turnover of an annual turnover of 100,000. You can choose whether you want to go with the commercial registration or not. Over 100,000 annual turnover, you have to register in a commercial register of Switzerland. Starting capital is 0, so you really can start from 0. Liability, we have the personal liability of the proprietor. You are alone, so you are the sole proprietorship, the sole proprietor in the company. Advantages is obviously the capital requirement, so you really can start from 0. You have fewer regulations and insurances with the sole proprietorship company. We can also see it later with taxes and social contributions. And if you wish to, you can withdraw the pension fund. So the second and third pillar, you can withdraw in Switzerland if you wish to. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's up to everybody individually. So you can decide whether you want to do it or not. You can only withdraw the pension fund if you only have the sole proprietorship company, so you cannot be hired somebody at a 50% job and having your own company. Then in that case you cannot get out the money of the pension fund. Disadvantages, we have the personal liability, no unemployment insurance, no shares, no partners, and your company name must include your family name. So if I want to open a sole proprietorship company, the name of the company would, for example, be Mets Consulting or Mets Trading or whatever. So your family name has to be included. The Kollektivgesellschaft means that we have a company, also personal company with the personal liability of the proprietors. You can also start it with 0 capital. Here you are minimum 2 people. Same with the advantages, same with the disadvantages. There's only one difference or 2 differences. First is you have to register in a commercial register, so you must register it. And the second one with the company name. With company name you can also use fantasy names. Only thing is, in the end, at the end of the company name, there must be included KLG for informing potential customers or clients that your company is a KLG. Capital companies, we have the GmbH with the starting capital of 20,000. Here with the GmbH and AG, we have 2 different kind of foundation structures. First is in cash, so foundation in cash. you have to put in 20,000 on a bank account. This money would be blocked during the foundation process. Once foundation has been of the company has been confirmed by the commercial register, the money is available again. 20,000 is 20,000. We don't have to talk about it. On the other hand, you can also make the foundation with assets. So, for example, you have an old Ford car at home and you bought it in 2010. You want to put that car into your company for the foundation. An auditor has to check if it's really worth the 20,000, and he has to confirm it. So here you can see this one gets a little bit more expensive, but still a good price. We have the limited liability of the proprietors. Proprietors, you can do it on your own, so minimum 1. For the advantages, we have the limited liability. We have the participation is possible, so that you can sell shares and other people can be part of the company. We have a lower minimum capital than for AGs. So here it's 20,000 which you need. For the AGs, we can see here with a partial payment for the foundation, you would need to have at least 50,000. Disadvantages: the proprietors are listed in the commercial register, the corporate law provisions, and the double accounting obligation, which I will talk about it later. And obviously also the double taxation. Double taxation on corporate law provisions, we also have it as disadvantages with the AG. Also a disadvantage is the costs and capital, so you would need to have at least 50,000 for founding the company, and AG is a little bit more expensive for the foundation and everything, but yeah. Advantages, again, the limited liability, we have the participation which is possible, and the shares are easily transferable. It goes together with the anonymity of the shareholders, and AG, yeah, is more credibility. Depends whether you really want to found an AG just because of the credibility. And another point to say about the anonymity, because the proprietors are listed in the commercial register for the GmbH. If you want to sell shares, you would also inform the commercial register for the publication, for the publishing of the new owners. But this one you don't have to do with the AGs because of the anonymity of the shareholders. Good. Finding the right legal form is not such a big thing, but there are some things which you have to think about. First of all, risk and liability of the offered products and services. Yeah, if you want to open an investment company or investment consultation company, you wouldn't go with a sole proprietorship company. But if one day you say, oh, you should invest in the shares of GE, General Electric, the other day GE goes 20% down, you wouldn't want to have a sole proprietorship company. Capital and costs. So capital and capital, if you know you want to have an LLC, GmbH, and you would need to have at least 20,000 Swiss francs, which you don't have. So in that case, you cannot go with the LLC, and you would have to found a sole proprietorship company. Costs also. Costs. Sole proprietorship company is less costful than AG or GmbH. Participation of several people, investors. So if you want to have investors on the boat, you would need to go at least with the LLC. And pension fund money and or third pillar, if you want to get out that money, you would need to have a sole proprietorship company. You cannot get out the money with the LLC or with the AG. And yeah, other points which should not be relevant for choosing the right company structure is if you want to hire people. So hiring people, you have the same rights as an employer, whether it is a sole proprietorship company or whether it is LLC, doesn't matter, you have the same rights. Not relevant here, same rights and duties, obviously. Not relevant is also if you want to pay yourself out a salary. We will see later with the sole proprietorship company. It's at some point it's not so expensive than it would be for the LLC, but we can see it later. And also whether it's a main or secondary occupation. Adam, he asked here if it's easy or if you can, at any case, transform again behind an AG. Yes, you can do that, and you can also do that over STARTUPS.CH. Here, have a look or watch out that you do it at a specific date. For example, on the 31st of December for the 1st of January, or 30th of June for the 1st of July. Good. And how does it look like with the incorporation process? So I can first of all say with STARTUPS.CH it's really simple. So you have to go to STARTUPS.CH or you go to STARTUPS.CH, calculate the offer. You can have a consultation session if you wish to. If you book it with in Basel or Bern at the moment, or in Basel and Bern, you would get to me. But at the moment, because of the coronavirus, we will not do it live. We will, like this webinar just now, it will be over Skype, either over Skype or over the phone. And yeah, within 24 hours, you will be called by one of our STARTUPS.CH lawyers. He will discuss with you if everything which you entered was the way you wanted to have it. He will create all the documents and send it over to you. You have to sign the documents and return all the documents. What you also have to do on your own, because we cannot do that for you, you have to go for a signature certification. You have to go to an attorney of law. Next, you will send back the documents to us. We will send it to the institutions responsible, and the duration of the registration of your company will be from 8 to 20 days. So really fast. There was another question I have to look. Omid, he asked if any company type, with any type of company you can hire people. That's correct. With any type of company you can hire people, either whether it's a LLC, if it's an AG, or sole proprietorship company. Okay, good. Thank you, Omid. And if you do that with STARTUPS.CH, you can see here, first of all, you can select your package. So whether it's a basic, business, or premium package, here a premium, or we now call it prime package. It's a great offer. You also have the tax declarations included. We can see it right away on the next page. Then you choose your partners. You can choose between, or you can choose Credit Suisse, AXA, Swisscom, Fidea 6, and Credit Reform. Credit Suisse obviously for the bank, AXA Insurance, Swisscom Phone, Fidea for the fiduciary, 6 for payments, and Credit Reform for getting your customers who don't pay invoices, for getting them paid. Next, choose extra services which you would need. If you need special documents, if you need support with the brand protection, if you need an employee contract, and so on. And at any time, if you start, for example, with a basic package, at any time you can go one up. So you can also go from the basic to the business package, or from the business to the premium package, prime package. Here we can see the overview of the prices and what's included in the packages. So here you can see also with the sole proprietorship, general partnership, it's more expensive. It gets more expensive with the LLC and PLC, obviously because of the complexity of the company structure. And what you can also see, the higher you go with the package, the more services are included in the package. And everything which is already included in the basic and business is, or everything which is included in the basic is also included in business. Everything which is included in the basic and business is also included in prime package. And here you can see with the prime package, also the first private return tax is included. If you are several founders, one private tax return would be included. And first tax return of the newly founded company is also included, and you get a voucher for a legal service for a price of 500, worth a price of 500 Swiss francs. So it's really good. There was the question if you can reconnect with somebody. Yes, you can reconnect with somebody. You can also write here directly your email address. Obviously, the other people would also see it, but yes, you can connect with the other people here. Good. Short example for a calculation. If you want to found with, if you found it with STARTUPS.CH. So incorporation for an LLC with cash contribution with the business package and 2 extra services costs you first of all 799 is the basic price. Then we have the partner bonus from Credit Suisse because you chose Credit Suisse for your bank partner, and AXA for your insurance partner. AXA, if you choose at least 2 insurances from AXA, you will get the bonus, 300 Swiss francs. If you have the translation of the documents as an extra, costs you 150 francs. Customized employment contract, which you need, costs 250 Swiss francs. Costs of the commercial register, which is not included, because it's from another institution, costs 800. So altogether, the foundation of the company or STARTUPS.CH costs you 1,499. So if you go over a notary office in Switzerland, you would at least pay 2,000 Swiss francs only for the preparation of the documents. And you have no services, no further things included. Watch out the remark here on the left. I would point out the special remark here. Pay attention on fake register invoices. Unfortunately, there are fake invoices going around, so that the only commercial register from which you will get an invoice, or from which you will have to pay the invoice, is from the commercial register of the respective canton. So if for myself, I live in the canton of Bern, I want to found a company, the only invoice from a commercial register which I will get is from a commercial register of Bern. There are fake invoices going around. Please don't pay it. You will not get back the money. Even not with the best lawyers, with the best insurances, you will not get back that money. So please don't pay it. Okay, here you see again the partners with the partner bonuses. Credit Suisse 200 Swiss francs, AXA up to 500, Swisscom up to 550, 6 for the payment terminals up to 200, Findea Fiduciary 200, and Credit Reform 500. There is a wide range of extras which could also be interesting for you. Here you see a short overview, but it's best to have a look on yourself. Have a look, and then you can also calculate right away. Yeah, legal risks are always the thing which we have to think about. So if you have employees, as I mentioned before, doesn't matter whether it's with a sole proprietorship company or with the LLC. If you have employees, please prepare an employment contract. Yeah, it's everything is fixed. Both parties have signed the contract. There's no discussion about it. Trademark protection, yeah, from the misuse of competitors, you can also have trademark protections, brand protections. In that case, we can also support you. Have a look if you need some help. It's a great offering also from STARTUPS.CH. Terms and conditions. If you want to open an online shop, you would need to put on the website also the terms and conditions, handles or talks about the conditions for delivery and payment. Shareholders agreement, this one you would need if you are at least 2 people in the company, or at least we recommend it to have such a contract signed, such an agreement signed. In the beginning, everybody's super motivated, everybody wants to work day and night. After 1 year, maybe there's one guy who says, no, I'm not so motivated anymore. I have family now. I don't want to work 50 hours or 60 hours a week anymore. It's good for me. I want to step out of the company. If you have such an agreement, everything's fine. You can directly get back to your contract here. Good. Let's talk about taxes and insurances. Taxes and insurances. First of all, the accounting. Why is accounting important? Yeah, you need to see the numbers, see whether you are on the right track. Do you really generate a profit? You need to see the success of your company. Double entry accounting is mandatory for GmbHs and AGs. For sole proprietorship company up to a turnover of annual turnover of 500,000, you can go with the simple accounting. So you use an Excel file, for example. Excel file, put all the turnover on the Excel file minus all the costs you had. What's left in the end is your benefit. And that's how you can do the accounting with a sole proprietorship company up to a turnover of 500,000. My advice: go already from the beginning on with double entry accounting. So with the balance sheet and with profit loss statement, in my opinion, it's a better way to do the accounting. Also, for the optimization of tax burden, yes, you can only benefit from that if you do a good accounting. So you can see for the tax optimization. What must be done as part of the accounting and of the bookkeeping? First of all, you have to create your invoices, the booking of the accounts receivable and payable. You have to calculate the VAT, you have to do the payroll accounting, and you must have annual reports. Annual reports, which are the basis for the tax declaration. You can see here on the bottom Findea. Findea, it's a sister company of Startups.ch, and here we have the subscription, the accounting services as part of the subscription service. So here you can see Basic Light, Business Light, Premium Light. It's a great thing because each month you pay the same amount. So it's not that and it's really for the liquidity. It's always a little amount, and it's not at 1,500 Swiss francs and then 3,000 Swiss francs and then again 5,000 Swiss francs. So each month you pay the same amount. Here you see how many number of evidence documents per year are included, number of consulting hours which are included, the posting of evidence documents is included, so the bookkeeping, the preparation of the annual statement is already included, so that's not an additional cost which would pop up. The yearly delivery of the current profit and loss statement would be included. Software licenses which are included, so you don't have to pay additional costs for the bookkeeping tool and we have another tool which is called Findea Online. Works a little bit like Dropbox. It's a tool which has been developed by us, and this tool is also included here, so you don't have to pay additional fees for this tool here. And assistance is from desktop startup desk Findea. And what is also included, which is not listed here on this file here on this slide here, you can transmit all the evidence documents online, so digitally, so you don't have to send it over by post, so you can directly upload it and we can work with that. Here you see the prices and the packages for LLCs and public incorporated companies, AGs. We have one more package, which is the premium package. Again, you can see the number of evidence documents per year. Again, in the premium package, it's up to 1,000. It's a little bit more. And here again, I don't want to go too much into details. It's more or less the same. The only thing which is different is with the business package, we have the preparation of the tax return statement, which is included. With the premium package, we have also the preparation of the tax return statement. Further, we have the preparation of the VAT return statement, and 3 payroll slips are included. So here also, if you have a lot of bookkeepings being done, the premium package can really be your offer. And yeah, your needs. How do we match your needs? We have a complete cost transparency thanks to a monthly fixed price. You have your finances always at hand. Everything works digitally, so the uploading and everything works digitally. Your accounting documents are stored on Findea Online, so you always have it on hand. And personal consultation is available at 8 locations throughout Switzerland. And here we see some add-ons. Add-ons are services which might not be included in the package you want to choose. Yeah, here you see the prices. I would recommend you go to Findea.ch, calculate it, and then you can see at what price you will get to and what services are all included. So, and now we go over to taxes. Yeah, taxes we see here with the sole proprietorship company. For personal companies, the same is actually for the Kollektivgesellschaft. This annual surplus, so the profit you generate at the end of the year, is your benefit, is your income, so the salary of the entrepreneur. And on this salary, you have to pay taxes, income taxes, so it goes into your private tax return statement. For Kollektivgesellschaft, if you are at least 2 people, if you generate a benefit of 60,000, you are 2 people, it's being divided by 2. So each of you has to pay income taxes on 30,000. If you generate 60,000 divided by 3, you are 3 people, you have to pay income taxes on a benefit of 20,000. Social security taxes are paid on the entire profit. I will get to that right away. It's an easier calculation for the social contributions than it is for the AG and GmbH. AG GmbH, we can see here, first of all, you have the salary where you have to pay income taxes. If you generate a profit, you have to pay profit taxes. That's why we talk about the double taxation. In the end, if you want to pay yourself out dividends, you pay income taxes on a reduced rate. Preferential taxation 30 to 75%. And here, watch out with the remark here on the right. Before you can pay yourself out dividends, you must pay yourself out the market salary, market fair salary. So if you are the only director of a company, you generate a benefit of 100,000, you cannot pay yourself out a salary of only 20,000 and dividends of 50,000. In that case, you would rather do it the other way around, pay yourself out 50,000 or even more 70,000, and the difference you can pay yourself out as dividends. Why is that? It's because of the social contributions, because on dividends in Switzerland you don't pay social contributions, but you pay dividends, you pay social contributions on your salary. So what might happen if you try to figure that out that way, can be that you only pay social contributions on the 20,000, you don't pay social contributions on the 50,000. So in the end, if you have an audit, it can happen that you would also have to pay social contributions on your dividends of 50,000 Swiss francs. So rather don't do it that way. Good. Taxes in Switzerland depend on the canton where you have your company. So as you can see here, Basel-Stadt, Basel City went down really fast. So it was around 20%, went down to 11.03%. Central part of Switzerland has always been rather high, or really high, and is still really high, really low, excuse me, really low. And as you can see here, Basel-Stadt is even lower than the canton of Zug. So think about maybe to open your company in Basel-Stadt than in Zug. But we can also talk about that individually. From Findea, we can offer you a domicile either in Basel-Stadt or in Lucerne, also in Zurich, but from the low taxes, Basel-Stadt, Lucerne. And in the western part, we can offer you a domicile either in Geneva or in the canton of Waadt. Yeah, Bern, unfortunately, is still really high. I live in the canton of Bern. My company is not an LLC, it's a Kollektivgesellschaft, so we are not affected by that one here, but it's really high. Good. VAT. If we talk about VAT, the VAT tax rate in Switzerland, the normal tax rate is 7.7%. Hotels is 3.7%, and we have the reduced rate on food, medicine, and books with 2.5%. So if for example, you go to McDonald's, and at McDonald's you go into the store. Maybe, I'm not sure if it's open again, but you go there and they always ask you if it's to eat in a restaurant or if it's takeaway. Why do they ask that? Easy explaining, because if you eat it in a restaurant, it's service, 7.7%. If you do it with takeaway, it's 2.5%. So it's the VAT rate from food. VAT obligations from 100,000 revenue per year worldwide. So if you generate 80,000 in Switzerland, 50,000 abroad, all in all, it's 130,000. So you have to underlie the VAT. Subsequent registration is possible at any time. When we talk about voluntary registration, for example, your annual turnover is lower than 100,000 Swiss francs. Voluntary registration would be beneficial if you have large initial investments. For example, you want to open a website which costs you 50,000 Swiss francs. You can deduct the VAT, so it would be worth to register for the VAT, so you can deduct the VAT. If you have many VAT liable companies as customers, they can only deduct the VAT if you are also underlying the VAT. Otherwise, they cannot deduct the VAT from your services. If you have a lot of export abroad, why that? Because you only, if we get back to the example with 80,000 and 50,000, you only pay VAT on the 80,000 generated in Switzerland, but not on the turnover generated abroad. Last but not least, if you don't want to have your customers knowing that you are still a small company, I guess that's not an important point to decide. I think the other 3 points are more important to decide whether you want to underlie the VAT or not. In Switzerland, we differentiate between the effective method and the settlement tax rate method. Effective method, you do the big bookkeeping, you deduct the VAT, and you have to calculate all the VAT, so from turnover and from costs. Payment has to be done within 60 days after the billing period, and you can switch to the net tax rate method after 3 years. Settlement tax rate is a so-called settlement tax rate method, is determined by a fixed net tax rate It depends on the branch. It's between 0.1 and 6.5%. Goes with a half-yearly billing. Input tax does not have to be determined, so you cannot deduct the tax VAT from purchases which you had. And it's a simplified billing. It's being done on a half-yearly basis. So, for example, you generate a turnover of 100,000. You have a service company, 6.5%. You have to pay 6,500 Swiss francs on a turnover of 100,000. You can use it up. You can use this method up to an annual turnover of 5 million. So no worries, it will take some time. Change is possible also within 60 days, and you can switch to the effective billing method after 1 year already. So you only need to have 1 year, and then you can do this one already. There's one question, if it's also for personal companies or only capital companies. It's for both. So it doesn't matter whether you have a sole proprietorship company or an LLC or a PLC. It's applicable for all sort of companies. Doesn't matter the type of the company. Good. Good. Then we go to the social contributions. Social contributions, we have the AHV, IV, EO. First of all, we look about the sole proprietorship companies. So with the sole proprietorship companies, we have the AHV of maximum 9.95%. It's calculated on calculated up to 9.95%. Depends if it's a side project, up to a turnover or a benefit, excuse me, up to an annual benefit of 2,300. It's not mandatory to have the AHV contributions, but only if it's a side project. So you need to have an income from another company where you are being hired, and up to 9,500 the annual contribution is 500 Swiss francs, and you have to pay it on a quarterly basis, and then it starts at approximately 5.1%, up to 9.95%. It's up to a benefit of approximately 57,000. Up more than 57,000, it's still 9.95%. So you don't, if you generate a benefit of, let's say, 120,000, you don't have to pay 30% of AHV contributions. Administration costs calculated on the AHV contribution. So if you have to pay 1,000 Swiss francs AHV contributions, let's calculate with 5%. You have to pay another 50 Swiss francs for the administration fees. Family allowance depends on the Ausgleichskasse. It's 1 to 2.8%. Unemployment insurance is not insurable. Pension fund, occupational accident insurance, and non-occupational accident insurance is voluntary. So if you still have a main job or where you are being hired, you don't, usually your employer pays your accident insurances, so you don't have to pay this one here. But if you do it on a full-time job with a sole proprietorship company, obviously you also, or it's a good advice, we recommend you to also have an occupational accident insurance and a non-occupational accident insurance. What's the difference between occupational accident insurance and non-occupational accident insurance? Let's say you have a construction company and you have an accident occurring while you are on a real estate, you fall down somewhere, you break your leg, that's occupational accident insurance. You go and play soccer with your friends during your leisure time, that's non-occupational accident insurance. So if you are the owner of an LLC, and here you can see applies to GmbHs, AGs, and to your employees, also employees of sole proprietorship and partnership companies. Your employee, you have to deduct 5.275% of our contributions each employee and employer. Administration costs, which have to be paid by the employer. Then we have family allowance, which is also being paid by the employer, and unemployment insurance 1.1%, half-half, employee-employer, pension fund contribution, so it's a BVG, 2 to 10% on the gross salary. It's also half-half employee-employer. And occupational accident insurance here is being covered by the employer. And if you work more than 8 hours per week, you have to pay the non-occupational accident insurance, which is being paid or covered by the employee. And here you can see, as I mentioned in the very beginning, costs for sole proprietorship company is much lower than it is for an owner of a GmbH or AG. But both ways go, so no worries about that. Good, then let's talk about insurances. Insurances, I don't want to go too much into details with all the insurances, but here property insurance, for example, you have to buy in cosmetics, and your cosmetics, they are being stored in your cave. Suddenly there's a flood coming and all the cave is covered with water. All your goods are damaged. You have to throw it away. You cannot sell it anymore. That's the property insurance for damages. Debtor default, if you have clients who don't pay so regularly, you can have a debtor default insurance. Cyber insurance, there has been a case last year with a hairstylist. They have an online booking tool, and this online booking tool was being hacked. So IT specialists, they had to recover all the data, and that was very, very expensive. And with this, if you had this cyber insurance, your costs would be much lower. Vehicle insurance, I don't want to go too much into details. It's always the same. The only thing, if you want to have your vehicle insurances paid over the company, the car has to be registered in the name of the company. Liability insurance, so if people or clients, for example, can be damaged by your service or by your products, would be a good advice to have a liability insurance. Voluntary personal insurance, short-term disability, supermandatory accident insurance. With the accident insurance I mentioned before, 80% of your salary is covered. So with the supermandatory accident insurance, the difference of 20% would also be covered. It's a rather expensive insurance, but sometimes might be a good thing. Short-term disability, yeah. And further insurances, one insurance I would really recommend you, it's a legal protection insurance. Here, watch out if you have a legal protection insurance on for you privately. Your private legal protection insurance would not cover business cases. So if you have a business case which you want to insure, you would need to have a legal protection insurance which is being done on your company name. There are some questions. Tians asked if he has to pay for the insurances if he doesn't pay himself out the salary. No, if you don't pay yourself out the salary, you don't have to to pay for social contribution insurances. But other insurances, which we see here on this page, might be helpful anyways. And there was another insurance. This one would be with the debtor default insurance. You can have their insurance. Usually, you mean kind of a payment agreement, as the way I understand you, Laura. Yes, there would be a payment agreement, which would also, in the end, either go through debtor default or with the legal protection. If your client doesn't pay, you can take a lawyer. A lawyer you can take with legal protection. I hope this answers your questions. Good. And now we want to have a look how you can grow, how you can make your company grow. First of all, buy a domain. Buy a domain. If you have a great brand, buy your domain right the first day. Because it would really be a pity if you have a great branding, you have great ideas for your website, and suddenly the domain has been taken. And so go to, for example, the domain discount 24. There are also other service providers in this area. Have a look there and buy your domain. Other advice, if you have a brand name which is being created out of two different names, for example, like with us, Smart Beer, go and also buy, for example, with a minus in the middle. Because we with Smart Beer, we have smartbeer.ch and we have smart-beer.ch. So we don't want to risk that anybody will open the website with smart-beer.ch and all our potential clients go to the other website. There was a question from James, how best to select a company to provide occupational insurance in second pillar. Yeah, excuse me. Here again, AXA, you can see here AXA. Go with AXA, ask them what they would say. Another thing is, I'll write it here, you can put it into Google. It's called AXA Kaimu Check. AXA Kaimu Check, you can put that in at Google. Would be the first page. It's also in English. And there you can type in your company or your company idea, and you will be provided with insurances which you must take, and insurances which are recommended to have. AXA Kaimu Check. Good. Next, set up an email through G Suite. G Suite is from Google. The great thing there is you can have a Gmail address in the backend. For example, metzconsulting@gmail.com, and you can have a company. You're welcome, James. And you can have your company's email address, which is being sent to your clients. For example, doesn't look so nice to have metzconsulting@gmx.ch. Looks much better if you have, for example, office@metzconsulting.ch. So in the back end, you would have metzconsulting@gmail.com, but on the front end, so to your customers, they will see office@metzconsulting.ch. Next, set up a homepage. Yeah, today it's really important to have a homepage. Everybody who wants to inform him or herself about a new company goes over the internet, checks the website. You can set up a homepage over Jimdo. There are also other providers, for example, Wix.com, and so on and so on. Have a look there that you can open a website. Set up a Facebook page, also, for example, Instagram and Pinterest. Yes, there you would need to have a look at your promotion strategy. How do you want to get in touch with your clients? Facebook page is also a great thing to get feedback from your clients. Same with interest in Instagram and Pinterest, and you can have an interaction with your clients. Register your business with Google's My Business. If you register your business with Google My Business, and also the next point with Google and Facebook advertising goes together with marketing analysis over the internet. Watch out with GDPR, that you really follow the rules of data protection. Yes, start Google with Google and Facebook advertising. For example, Facebook paid promotions, or for example also with Google AdWords. Yeah, write blog articles. Blog articles are a great thing to get on your website the most important keywords which you would need. Your goal should be that you are listed on one of the first positions in the Google ranking. If you do that with if you write it, for example, you can check on Google Trends. I don't know if some of you know this tool. Google Trends, you can put in some keywords, and you can see how important they are for having a good Google ranking. And if you put in those keywords, in your blog articles, Google will find them and will put you on in the first rank in the Google ranking, or at least on the first page in the Google ranking. Email marketing, we don't like so much receiving newsletters, being spammed. However, I think it's a great tool to also interact with your clients. Email marketing, two very important things in my opinion. First of all, don't send too many emails. Send maybe 2 or 3 per month, and not 5 per day. Because your people, your customers, your potential customers, they will be annoyed. They will say, "Oh no, again, Laura, she sent me another newsletter. I don't want to receive all the time newsletters." That's one thing which I can recommend you. The other thing is, try to have good content in your newsletters. Don't send just the blah blah blah. Really send good information, great information, useful information especially, and then people will be happy to open your newsletters. To answer your question, BZ, yes, you can use a PO box address. No, PO box, you just need you need a fixed address. So you need to have an address with street number and so on. You cannot just use a PO box. That doesn't work in Switzerland for the registration of the company. But you can have a domicile with a fiduciary partner. Yes, Omid, you need a physical address. So you need to have an address, as I mentioned in the very beginning. You can also have an address at Findea. Findea Bern, Findea Winterthur, Zurich, Basel, Lucerne, Lausanne, Geneva, and so on. You can also have your home address, yes. And I would recommend you that, Omid, and also to your other people, use in the beginning, I would recommend you to use your home address. It's much cheaper. And it's also useful, yes. Good. Okay, so other online tools which can make your life easier. G Suite, I mentioned it already. Slack for the communication within the team. You can book me for online booking tools. It's an online booking tool. Trello for managing your tasks, especially when you don't live at the same place. Harvest, it's a time tracking tool. Upwork for finding freelancers, and Business Planner, it's a great business plan tool, which is being provided by STARTUPS.CH. Good. Last but not least, what can be your next steps? Get a free quote on STARTUPS.CH, enter your data online. Maybe you want to have a consultation hour that with me for Basel and Bern. Within 24 hours, you will be contacted by one of our lawyers, and if needed, they will also create your documents for you. Your company is being established, and we can create some other contracts for you if you wish to. And if you also wish to work together with Findea, you will be contacted by one of our fiduciary people. And if you say, yeah, I want to attend another course from STARTUPS.CH, have a look at STARTUPS.CH/en/academy. There you can find other courses, for example, for business plan and industries for freelancers, insurances, marketing, and use and organization, and a lot of others. Have a look there if you wish to. To answer your question here, Busy, yes, you can use a company name which is when the same name is already registered in the UK. Only if it's a registered brand, have a look there, because if the brand name is registered worldwide, for example, or in Switzerland, it's not so useful to use the same company name, the same business name again in Switzerland. I hope this answered your question, Busy. Good. If you find some time to read books, here are some literature about startups. 0 to 1, it's from Peter Thiel. It's one of the big investors in Silicon Valley. Then Lean Startup, in my opinion, it's a little bit lean. It's a little bit a startup Bible. It's really a great book. I love this book. Have a look at it maybe also. And then The Innovator's Dilemma from Clayton Christensen. And why Startups.ch? Yeah, you have personal consultation. We have our own experts, from lawyers to tax advisors and consultants. Free service with our partners. Try to calculate it and find out how much you will pay for it. It's really, you can have it for free. Extensive experience with over 50,000 foundings, and you can launch your startup within 24 hours. And our premium partners, Credit Suisse, AXA, Swisscom, Sage 6, Kreditefonds, you can see here them again, and other partners which we also have, Staatsrechtsanwälte from Bern, eSupport if you need some support in IT, Zenderprint if you need to have flyers and so on. Yeah. So here we are at the end of this presentation of this webinar. Thank you, Timmy, already for your feedback. I really appreciate positive feedback, and I'm here for questions. So if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to write them here, or also you can have a consultation hour with me. As I mentioned, Basel Bern is with me. Okay, thank you very much, Antonella, also. And as I mentioned in the very beginning, you can download the slides with using the cloud on the top right. You can directly download it. To answer your question, Omid, yeah, I mean, you can copy it if you wish to. At latest, if they find out about you, you would need to close it. But I guess there shouldn't be a problem. I mean, we have so many people in the world, so many different services. I guess it shouldn't be a problem. If I were you, I would not use exactly the same name, because that in the end would be copyright. But you can start your company. That shouldn't be a problem. Then James has a question with accident insurance. Now I'm not 100% sure if I understand your question correctly, but the accident insurance covers already a lot. for example, if we have a look at, I have mentioned this one here during the presentation, the coronavirus we have right now with insurances. Most companies don't have this insurance. It's a epidemic insurance. For example, I don't know if there are some people who like tennis. Wimbledon, the ATP tournament, they, after SARS, about, when was it, 2002, 2003, they went and had epidemic insurance, so they got back the money from this year's tournament. But and in Switzerland, also AXA, they also have epidemic insurances or against epidemics. You need this insurance, but yeah, I mean, yeah, if usually it James, with the accident insurance, you are already very well covered. Thank you, Maxim, for the very nice feedback. Also busy. Thank you for your feedback. Yes, Maxim, at any time you can also send me an email. And thank you, Omid, for your feedback. You can also give me a feedback for this webinar. You can also give me a feedback then by that. Thank you, Anna. Also, to answer your question, Onur, no, you don't need a revenue expectation limit to be able to register. You can register your company already with 1,000 francs turnover. There's no barrier in that way. To convince the official registration, yes, if you want to register with a self-employment, you would need to have at least 3 customers, which you need to show, but that's all. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the clarification, James. That's very helpful, and a very good point also. This actually goes together with the no, actually that's a risk. That's a risk that I guess you're in the construction area. Yes, I mean, if an employee breaks a leg, he cannot work anymore. That's a risk. So you would need to get a substitute for him. Yes, that's always a risk. Yeah, but there's no insurance for this one here. No, you can only, as much as I know, you can only insure that he doesn't get to work and that the company, that the insurance would pay his salary, but not more. I hope this answers your question. And if not, I can also give you contact information from AXA people. Where do you live, James? Do you live in Basel or Bern? In Zurich, okay. Try to contact somebody from AXA Zurich, or try to get directly, because I don't have this contact information here right now. Try to get in touch with an AXA partner in Zurich, and ask him also what he can recommend you. Otherwise, I can also give you some contact information from people in Basel or Bern, but I'm not sure if it helps you. If that helps you a lot, if you have contact people in Basel and Bern. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, James. Are there any further questions? Any further questions? No, for the what do you mean with the quarterly payment system? For the bookkeeping system, you mean? Because when you have a, let's say, an accounting system, you would need to choose whether it's with without VAT, whether it's with the effective method, or whether it is with the fixed tax rate method. I hope this answers your questions, James. There's no default. You have to choose. You have to choose which system you want to apply for. So whether it's the effective method or the settlement tax rate method, this one you have to choose yourself. The tax administration will not make this selection for you. Okay, thank you, James. Any other questions? No, I mean both work. Both systems work. If you know that you have a lot of costs apart from your main business, for example, you have a lot of people getting into touch in restaurants or whatever, or you have to go to hotels, I would rather recommend you to have the effective method, but both work and both are a good thing. I mean, for example, if you have a food trading company, the tax rate for food is 2.7%, 2.5%, excuse me. So if you have a food trading company, it's the settlement tax rate is 0.1%. So 0.1% means if you generate a turnover of 100,000 Swiss francs, you only have to pay 100 Swiss francs VAT. So it always takes into charge the branch in which you work. So in the end, it's more or less the same, but we would have to have a look individually maybe. So it's always an individual thing, because you cannot say for all the branches, this one here is better than this one. Would you get some? Yes, actually, you would have to decide which method you want to choose. And if you're not 100% sure, we can also have a consultation meeting together, and then I can also give you some recommendation individually. Okay, I hope that's okay for you, Busy. Okay, great, thank you. Any other questions? Okay. I will be here until 1:45, so another 6 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes. So please do not hesitate to ask your questions. The primary talk is about the information you put in for the registration of the company, for the foundation of the company. If everything can be done the way you put it in. So, for example, the name of your company, because company names of LLCs are protected all over Switzerland. Company names of sole proprietorship companies are only protected in the community where it is registered. So yeah, but they will mainly go with you through the information for the foundation of the company and also the goal of the business goal of the company. Yeah. The best structure for a representative office would be LLC or AG. So GmbH or AG. Thank you. Okay, are there any further questions? It's part of the business planner tool. I will show you that way. This one right away. It's this tool here. Oh. Oh, excuse me, there was a mistake. It's this one here. And there, if you have a look at it, you can see what is all included. You can go down, 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 and then you can see also with financial planning. So it's part of the tool actually. Okay. Are there any further questions? I will be here again 2 minutes. Okay, thank you, Timmy. Don't has to. There's a differentiation between the company name and brand name. So for the website, you can use your brand name, but the brand name does not necessarily has to be your company's name. So the website name does not have to include your last name. You're welcome. No, there's a free version But yes, to access it, first of all, you would need to register, and this one is for free. And after registration, you will get a password. But this one is for free. Okay, good. Good. So I thank you very, very much for your attention, and wish you a good and safe day, healthy day, and a lot of success with your business. And if you feel the need to get in touch with me again, here again you can see the locations of startups.ch. Please feel free to contact me over my email address, leon.metz@startups.ch. Thank you very much and have a good day. Bye bye everybody. Bye bye.